Next on Worcester News Tonight, the city of Worcester is moving forward on plans for a new Doherty High School. The architect discusses details tonight. Plus, keeping college graduates in the city. A look at how employers and colleges are trying to retain students. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Monday, the Doherty High School Building Committee announces they've signed an architect to design the new school. The project is still in the beginning stages, but the city's Department of Public Works says they're looking into where the new building could be, which leads to the question, does there need to be a new location? Our Cam Jandro's live in the city tonight with the details. Cam?
Anna, one thing the city emphasized tonight is the fact that they want more public input on the building of this new high school, especially since there's the chance that Doherty could be moved from Highland Street. But once again, the city says it's extremely early in the process and they're still trying to figure out what direction they're going to go in. Worcester-based Lamero Pagano Associates will be designing the future Doherty High School. But before anything happens, the city has to conduct a feasibility study.
What do we need? How big does the building have to be? How many labs does it need? All the kind of programming, we call it. And then also, what are the probable places where we might be able to build something?
Doherty is currently in the third phase of 8 in the state's building process. DPW Commissioner Paul Musi says the city is currently looking at 10 or so different locations for the school, but it's still too early to decide.
And maybe we'll say there isn't any available space. So, don't know.
Lamero Pagano has worked on recent city projects like Nelson Place Elementary and the new South High. Their timeline has a full design of Doherty submitted by December of this year.
Getting the bidding going, we actually get into construction, and we will be occupying the school in September 2024.
Initial estimates made by the city price the new school at around $230 million. The goal is to house more than 1,600 students, and staying on Highland Street is not out of the question.
That's a possibility. The last couple of schools we ended up building where they were. So it's not off the table. That's one of the possibilities, and MSBA will make us look at that.
Now, one thing the city said tonight is if they do decide to move Doherty Memorial High School, it will not impact any city parks. When they do break ground within about a year or so, it'll take about 33 to 36 months to complete it. Live in Worcester tonight, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
Shortly after the Worcester School Committee offered Superintendent Maureen Benenda a 3-year extension on her contract, one member announced he will not seek re-election. In a Facebook post, Dante Comparetto explains his decision. He says it's a slap in the face to communities of color for the mayor and school committee to respond to claims of racial injustice within the school system with a raise and maximum extension contract. He writes, I cannot remain a part of a body that is morally corrupt, a committee representing a very racist community. It is for all of these reasons that I am not seeking re-election. Comparetto was one of 2 committee members to vote against Benenda's contract. He says he'll serve out his current term. An order filed by a Worcester City Councilor asks police to assess traffic safety around city schools. District 5 Councilor Matt Walley's agenda item consists of a survey asking which schools have the highest number of incidences. Walley is currently assessing the information on the survey and says there are numerous schools of interest, including Columbus Prep, Woodland Academy, and May Street School. There is a hearing on Councilor Walley's order Wednesday night at Worcester City Hall. This week marks National Prevention Week, an annual observance dedicated to raising awareness about mental health and substance use disorders. The effort is backed by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. The organization chose the 3rd week in May because it's near the start of the summer. According to their national survey on drug use and health, youth and full-time college students most often use substances for the first time during June or July.
This week, we seek to advance the theme of inspiring action, changing lives. It's a simple concept, really. Stop it before it starts.
The Shine Initiative in Worcester weighed in on the importance of the mental health aspect of the week. Jessica Zakara says it's important to talk about what's going on inside our heads.
We really don't stop and just check in with each other and say, hey, how's it going? Even if it's, the good things, the bad things, the hard times. So it really just helps to kind of pause and remind us that we all really do have mental health as well as physical health.
Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration is challenging people to use the hashtag #PreventionChampion and share on social media how they're inspiring others to live a healthy life and stay substance-free. The principal of a school in Gardner is on leave tonight after cell phone video showed him in an altercation with a student on a bus. 2 students are now facing charges in this incident. Alicia Palumbo spoke with one of those students involved.
Shocking cell phone video showing the principal of Gardner Academy allegedly in an altercation with a student inside this school bus last Thursday. Now that principal is on paid administrative leave.
And he has him bent over a seat with his arm restrained behind his back.
Sophomore Isaiah Clark says Principal Peter McMorrow had confronted his friend, a junior at the alternative high school, over a tipped vending machine.
My first reaction was getting him to stop hurting my friend. And so I started banging on the window. I was like, stop doing that. He's a kid. He's a kid. You don't need to be doing that.
When McMorrow allegedly wouldn't stop, Clark says he got on the bus to try to intervene.
And I ran up to the principal and I told him to stop. And he still wouldn't. So I grabbed his hands and I pulled him off. And then at that point, I saw him raise his hand like he was going to punch the kid.
The police eventually arrived as McMorrow exited the bus, and now Clark and his friend are facing expulsion from school and criminal charges.
They might lose their educations over this. It's not fair.
The superintendent of Gardner Public Schools said in a statement, while I'm sure no one will deny that photos and videos posted on public media accurately depict brief moments of the end of this incident, they also create a narrative that is incomplete, misleading, and one-sided. But Isaiah's mom, Tracy, says the video shows enough to convince her McMorrow should be removed from his job.
But you see the man come off the bus, his fists are clenched, like he's in anger mode.
That was Alicia Palumbo reporting. An award-winning sushi restaurant is forced to close its doors after a 2-alarm fire. Baba Sushi has been on Park Avenue in Worcester for more than 10 years. Now the restaurant's owner says they're trying to pick up the pieces. Our Brittany Schaefer has more.
I mean, it's just really smoky.
Wilson Wang looks at the damage a weekend fire did to his Park Ave restaurant.
I'm a little bit heartbroken. It's a lot of memory here, a lot of emotion here.
Wang opened Baba Sushi in 2007. It's received awards including Best Sushi Restaurant in Worcester and a top 100 Asian restaurant in the country. Saturday, a fire in the basement forced Baba to close its doors.
Hopefully we got this done ASAP. Might be a couple of weeks, might be a couple of months, we don't know. But we have a sister restaurant named Baba Sushi, Sturbridge. We will get a bigger, stronger, and brighter.
The Worcester Fire Department says while the flames were under control quickly, there was heavy smoke in the restaurant.
It was basically over within the first 30 minutes. Crews did an excellent job of getting in and finding the fire and containing it to just the basement. That's where the crews found the heavy amount of fire.
Wang says they will reopen as soon as possible. He says this may be a difficult time, but nothing will keep him from smiling.
They turn to the barbecue. I really appreciate for all the friends, customers, sent a text message and called me. It's hundreds people. Life is short, life is only once. You laughing, it's 24/7. You crying, it's still 24/7. Why are you not laughing?
Wang says their #1 priority is to open as soon as possible. He hopes that's in a few weeks. In Worcester, Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
A Blackstone man found guilty in the murder of his father is sentenced to life in prison Monday. A Superior Court jury found Glenn Armstrong guilty of first-degree murder last week in the 2017 killings of his 83-year-old father. Armstrong was arrested in New Jersey one day after his father, Walter Armstrong, was found dead in the home they shared in Blackstone. An autopsy determined the 83-year-old died of multiple blunt trauma and asphyxiate by strangulation. Thousands of college students are graduating this month. The city and local businesses are hoping they'll choose to stay in the place where they've spent the last 4 years. The Regional Chamber of Commerce says one of their goals is to engage with students while they're still in school to show them why they should stay close by. Our Chandler Walsh has more.
Assumption College's campus is quiet Monday, the day after the school's commencement. Their seniors are among the thousands in Worcester graduating this month, and some city businesses are hoping they stick around.
Our businesses are seeing a really increased need in meeting their workforce demands, and so we are really positioned very well with all these, we have 12 area colleges and universities.
The Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce builds relationships between businesses and schools. They work to show students what the city has to offer. Karen Pelletier says retention rates haven't been calculated in the past several years, but says interest in the city is increasing.
There's definitely been a shift in sort of that willingness and interest in engaging off campus. Even from college admissions offices or meeting with the Chamber and Discover Central Mass.
Assumption College partners with hundreds of local organizations. Shannon Curtis works in the Career Development and Internship Center and says now is a good time for grads to make Worcester their home.
The Worcester Red Sox coming in, and there's a lot of other employers that we hear really looking at the city as well. So the pros are, lots of job and internship opportunities, lots of opportunities for growth.
This is the first year the college will track how many of their students stay close by.
Our students continue to go out into the Worcester area and work for local companies and organizations. We'd love to be able to continue to partner with those organizations and grow our network.
Pelletier says being a college city is a big draw for businesses. She says it's an opportunity to build a skilled talent pipeline.
Especially if you're looking for a skilled workforce in a particular area, so say computer science, you can build a relationship with one of our college's departments in computer science and make sure that you're preparing students for the needs that you have specifically.
In the coming weeks, Assumption will determine the percentage of their graduating class staying in Worcester. They plan to continue tracking it year to year to strengthen relationships with the local business community. In Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
If you're looking for a new place to work out this summer, the city's offering a free 17-week series of exercise classes. Worcester's Department of Health and Human Services is partnering with Blue Cross Blue Shields of Massachusetts and YWCA Central Massachusetts. The Summer Fitness Series will take place at 10 city parks from June 3rd to September 28th. The city says it's a way to get residents engaged in physical activity and visit public parks. The program is supported by a $45,000 multi-year grant from Blue Cross Blue Shields of Massachusetts.